Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to Newbie versus Secret. Best of 3 match here in Group A for the Mars TV Dota 2 League Autumn 2016. Probably the first major event to come post-TI. We've had a few smaller LANs. I'm LD. I'm joined here by GoDz. GoDz, this is the moment that everyone has been waiting for. All the new rosters on display. Secret, the team that we haven't seen anything out of yet, but Newbie, they've been playing quite a bit post-TI.
Secret's got to be the team that most people, when they saw the new roster, were just like, what happened? Like, what's Puppy thinking? Like, everyone's always talking about Puppy like this captain who's saving strats on these next level programs, and when he brings in this mix of SCA/South Korean players, everyone was just like blown away. Like, well, this new Secret is the most unpredictable new team of them all in my mind.
We really haven't seen too many European teams with really any players from outside the region. Like, we have seen some European or even, North American players go to Asia, but this is a very unusual mixture. 3 Southeast Asian players, of course 2 from the European region. Obviously most of these players at least speak decent English. Do you expect big things from the Secret lineup, or are you just completely unsure what to expect out of them?
I mean, talent-wise, it's all there. They have everything they need. I think some of the players will struggle with the communication side of things. I know Foref speaks next to no English, so that's definitely a problem. Mid1 is not that confident in his English, but I think for Puppy as a captain, it means he's just going to tell these guys what to do, and they have to listen because they're not in a position where they can talk back to him. I know with the old Fnatic with Mid1 and Mushi and stuff, there was sometimes like some arguments over stuff, and they'd kind of have back and forth where they decide how they want to play, whether the picks, the drafts are working. When someone like Mid1 gets brought into a team with Puppy, his job is just to listen and play Dota. No longer does he have a voice in the team. So the talent for me is there with Secret, but whether or not they can gel, whether or not Puppy can find a way to play around this new team of really star-studded players from the SEA region is yet to be seen.
And over on the side of Newbie, of course, they've let go of some of their bigger, more famous names. No more Chuan, no more Hao. But when you look at Newbie, GoDz, do you feel a lot of promise for this lineup? You've got some players that are probably less familiar to the casual Western fan, though they have had some experience on the bigger stages. U9, SCCC. These guys, what do you think of them, and how well has Newbie been gelling so far in the early post-TI kind of shambles of things?
Yeah, they've had a few online matches. First, they had a few without KP even playing. I guess he was away traveling, whatever. Only most recently did he actually play their matches. So I think similarly the talent's there. They're less proven talent. U9 was like the 1-star player on the old Tongfu, who used to just like carry his team some games, and other games maybe he'd get shut down and not have a good game. And SCC on the old Newbie Young was one of the really big standout players in the mid lane. So I think they picked up some of these big star players. SCC, one of those 9K MMR gods nowadays. So like obviously that's always a big talking point. The fact you can get 9K MMR shows a certain level of ability just to solo win games, which is what SCC brings to the table. And then I like the addition of Faith. He just has to play support. He's no longer kind of the captain drafter. We've got Kaka, who's kind of talked about by a few of the Chinese players as being the best captain there now. So we'll see if this team can work out. So far, it hasn't been like they haven't come out and amazed me, but it's still very early days. It's going to take some time to gel.
So Secret will open things up with the Iowa hero that they were running a bit heading into TI and at the event, but also a hero that MVP liked to run a lot as well. So to go with that, they grab a Phantom Assassin. Great hero to deal with physical damage. Can be rather tanky in that matchup, but you are running a PA against a Drow Ranger. Drow won a lot of games at TI, GoDz. Most teams struggled to deal with her and opted just to ban her. Looking at just the early moments here in the draft, are you worried at all about the Drow pick, or if you're Secret, or do you think they're equipped to handle it?
Drow's always a scary hero because you have to draft against the fact your opponents have Drow Ranger. There's only a few heroes in the game where it's like they have this hero, you have to have a plan to deal with it. Normally you can just draft your heroes and say, oh, we've got a plan, this is what we're going to do. We're going to do this style. But as soon as you see the Drow, your style has to counter the Drow, or you just straight up lose the game. And that's kind of what PA brings to the table a bit. It's kind of a direct counter pick to the Drow Ranger in some ways. Not to say it's just going to make the Drow useless, but you've got the gap closer with Phantom Strike. You've got the evasion so you can engage, but not amazing against the Oracle because Oracle does have the disarm and Fate's Edict.
Yeah, and also just a lot of burst damage against Io, so can potentially blow her up pretty early in the fights. And now the Darkseer getting removed by Newbie, an offlaner that we saw Foref go back to quite a bit. Ion Shell obviously great with the PA for diving the Drow, maybe even putting pressure on our lane early, and well, it is still 6.88, so Huskar will get the ban here. We saw some very unfortunate matches at TI where Huskar was allowed through, and often a quick and decisive victory for the team that grabbed him.
Yeah, I think at this point you're just worried not letting them get that next level of cheese coming out. And the thing that stands out most to with Secrets owning 2 picks is this is very MVP style. The first pick Wisp, yeah, Puppey and Pilot I have done this a lot in the past as well, but the PA pick was like a QO special with the old team MVP. And this is looking much more like a fighting style Team Secret lineup. I mean, even just from the 2 picks we're seeing. So it seems like Puppey is trying to integrate some of that SEA Dota style into this new team's roster.
Well, 4th pick, or 4th ban, I should say, for Newbie now. Opted for the Drow early, and you know we saw a lot of evolution with the way the Drow Ranger picks were run. I guess over like the last year and a half or so. When we first saw Drow picks, they were considered like a pocket strat, something that was rather easily countered. Then it kind of evolved into this stage where you could pick Drow, and if you had another hero that skilled well into the late game, you had the option of not trying to end it early. They're also dire side here, GoDz. PA, a hero that we have seen fall off a lot, especially if BKB is on cooldown. You have some good disable, struggles to stay relevant in later game fights at times. But with the Axe now removed, Newbie, again trying to get rid of those heroes that want to get up in your face. The Darkseer, the Axe, something that we've even seen Puppey play like a 4-position Axe at times, go to the jungle. Not sure if that's in the cards for them this game with the IO pick, but interesting ban here now.
Yeah, for Secret to make the PA pick work, they need a hero to enable it, to be initiating in, being the kind of front liner, leading in the charge. The 2 heroes that always stand out for me with PA is Slardar and Axe. Slardar, unfortunately, Secret banned themselves in the first stage, probably not really anticipating having the IOPA necessarily as their opening, but the Axe was kind of the Fora's best hero as well. So without those 2 in the offlane, they'll have to come up with something a bit different. Io Bristle is the old school MVP strat. It doesn't have the initiating capabilities of an Axe or a Slardar, but it is very troublesome on the front lines to deal with.
What do you think of the OD ban? This is a hero that wasn't really that popular at TI, saw only a handful of picks, but as of late, kind of in the post-TI era, even though there hasn't been a new patch, there's still been some evolution, and you know, more and more people are talking about OD. We're seeing him a lot more in high-level pub games. Thoughts on the ban?
He's becoming a meta hero once again. Without any, it's funny how Dota goes in these cycles where heroes will go in and out of the meta with no balance changes, but it really feels like OD is back in a place where in the Chinese scene and a lot of these qualifiers, he's being first 2 picked. He's being seen as a kind of replacement for the Shadow Demon. Yeah, he's a core. It's a very different hero. He plays as a carry, but the save is just so valuable in Dota nowadays. Having either the 2 biggest things to me when you're like looking at heroes that you see picked a lot is having defensive save or having burst damage, and that's where the OD with the defensive save as a core is really valuable as far as a lot of teams are concerned.
Casino Magi is now the selection here for Newbie. So they get their lane controller, a beefcake that can trade blows with pretty much anyone. Even the Tidehunter, also not an easy hero to burst for the PA-IO, who generally do rely on those quick kills to get some momentum. So with the PA pick, GoDz, we've seen the PA more often than not go mid. I imagine probably a mid 1 PA. You've got the 4-Ev offlane Tidehunter. Is that what you're expecting? And where do you think this IO will go? Is it a roaming IO for Pilai? Is it mostly just helping mid? What are you expecting out of that?
I think the lanes you mentioned are probably most accurate here. The IO from Pilai is normally one of those kind of more defensive IOs. It's actually, as much as I compare this draft to an MVP one, the Pilai IO plays in a more kind of sit behind your mid, refill his, like just allow him to keep spamming his lane, refill his bottle when needed, and provide the sustain and also the stacks in the jungle. So probably see a bit more defensive style out of the IO. Even more so with the Tidehunter pick. It's not a bristle. It's a defensive farming offlaner that's focused more on the mid-game teamfights. So this, to me, suggests a bit more defensive out of the IO and focus on the mid lane rather than the off lane.
Oh, I love this Timbersaw pick. Your 3 picks are now for Secret. You have 1 form of lockdown and it's extremely long cooldown ultimate. And also, it's a hero that doesn't match up all that well against the Timber in the mid game. So Secret, they quickly recognize they need a hero that can control Timbersaw. They will grab a Storm Spirit. None of these heroes particularly good against at stopping the push head-on, GoDz, aside from maybe the Tidehunter to kind of be that front liner and threaten for a Ravage. But despite the looming potential team fight, they decide to play more of a spread the map style offense here with the Storm, and they do this into a Drow Ranger.
And even with the Storm pick, it's still an amazing Timber game. That's just one small lockdown with the Vortex. The Orchid does come online and hurt the Timber a bit, but normally you need the Bloodstone, then the Orchid. And if Timber sees an Orchid coming, he's just like, sweet, I'll get a Lotus Orb, I'll purge it off, and then the Orchid doesn't really counter him. So this is looking like a game where if the Drow push doesn't win Newbie the game, the Timbersaw will come online and be a huge problem for this Team Secret lineup that lacks a lot of lockdown to deal with Timbersaw.
And so far, it does seem like pretty stable lanes here for Newbie. They've got 2 ranged heroes. They have good lane sustain from the Oracle, a tanky Roamer and the Ogre, a difficult to gank here hero in the Timber. Really, the only hero you have to protect is the Drow, and they certainly have the tools to do it in the form of that Oracle pick. So now, the Dazzle banned out. One of Puppy's go-to hero, Secret. Ever since that Pylai Puppy combo really came together, they have relied more so than most teams on those defensive supports. So Newbie will remove a go-to hero now that the Axe is already banned out. No real counter for the Grave.
Yeah.
Still
I'm a little surprised the hero that stood out to me was the Keeper of the Light. Like, Keeper of the Light with Storm, amazing. Keeper of the Light with the Mana Leak, great against Timbersaw, but they go Bounty Hunter, so more early game pressure. And I'm wondering who's playing what, because both Io and Bounty are normally Pylai heroes. I'm guessing it'll be Puppy on the Bounty, but an interesting last pick to go on the Team Secret side.
Definitely a slight twist here. Still, the Io pick, I think like you said, it is very MVP-esque. And it feels like there is a little bit of that Southeast Asian flavor for this team, but still some just iconic heroes for a lot of these support players so far. So Newbie, last pick now to go. We'll be looking for another core to pair with the Drow Ranger. Are you expecting the mid Timber? Is this an offlane Timber, GoDz? Like, what is Newbie looking for here?
And offlane is actually not too bad for Timber, just because there's no good zoning support for him, so you may consider putting him there, but the mid Timber is like where you can snowball a bit more. So Mirana's picked up. It's still kind of unclear who's offlane, who's mid, since both these heroes can do both. And it looks like with SCC picking up, it will be a mid Mirana and KP Timber, though.
Is that the move here? Do we just truncate that last C in the interest of not going crazy trying to say his name? S-triple-C.
It rolls, you know. SCC sounds good, but the third C, no, that's one C too many.
Can I call him S3C? Is that okay? S3C?
C cubed.
Okay. SC cubed. Rolls right off the tongue, boys and girls. Here we go. It's Newbie versus Secret. Now, for those wondering, as far as the format goes, this is a GSL group in Group A. 4 teams competing to advance in the upper half here and move on into the main event bracket. The teams that end up in the bottom will not be eliminated, but they do start in the lower bracket. Not a great place to be. The other 2 teams who are currently duking it out on the other stream, of course, we do have LGD Forever Young, as well as Team MVP Phoenix. So if you want to see the other remnants of the old MVP lineup, head on over to Beyond the Summit 2, where Lumi, as well as Kylo Guy, will bring you all the action. But here, we'll stick with Secret versus Newbie. Get underway now, GoDz. Teams off the bat looking to drop some wards and get that early vision.
Yep. Pretty standard stuff. KP with the TP down bottom, Bounty with the TP towards mid. He's going to get an aggressive ward up near the top lane, it looks like, just to scout out movements between mid and top. And there were pings down bottom. It looks like at least KP saw Secret, and Secret's going to see KP soon. It's just now going to turn into a game of find the Observer ward.
Yeah, not really much kill potential here on a Timber, generally speaking, but they do isolate him in perhaps the perfect position. And he's already skilled reactive armor. Perhaps they can kill him off, though. KP already up to 5 stacks here, but it's only a level 1 reactive armor. He's going to get quite low to this. MP will have a dagger soon. He might be able to kill him. The South Force down. He still gets the first blood. Oh man, not much of a killing trio, but when you completely collapse on him like that, they have the firepower to get the kill.
That's a really good. I mean, taking away the salve for an offlane Timbersaw really needs that regen, because there's not much kill power in the laning stage. I mean, they get a kill there as I say that, but having your regen is the key thing. So you can trade hits, soak up the harass while farming, and then heal up. But losing a salve really can cripple your laning stage. He was just getting a bit too greedy. He was trying to tuck himself in the trees so he could pull the creep wave, I'm guessing. He was trying to hide himself there, but got spotted walking in, and Secret capitalized.
And Newbie getting punished here early. Maybe not expecting that full 3-man aggression in the bottom lane, and Puppy gonna take this moment to creep in mid. Do see the Radiant Courier just limping back. Looks like 4Av straight to the jungle, GoDz. Iron Talon already picked up. Though there is an Observer Ward to scout out the Ancient stacks, to scout out the big camp near the top lane. 4Av actually has another trajectory in mind. He is headed straight to his own woods.
Puppy's just trying to see if he can get a courier snipe, but doesn't look like SCC's even interested in bringing out a salve for now, so Unlikely to see this succeed for now, but we'll see how greedy SEC gets with his courier movement.
So it's a PA mid. We've seen quite a bit of PA mid when the hero is run, more so than most other melee relatively farming heavy cores. But up against the Mirana, all this magic damage, do you feel like he can stand in the lane on his own, or is this a hero that needs a lot of help to survive the matchup?
PA will be fine. MP's going to have a really fast bottle. I think if anything, SCC will be the one under a bit more pressure as far as the constant stifling dagger harass. You can just spam the dagger whenever it's off cooldown on the Mirana herself, and that's where Puppey comes in. The harass on SCC is going to be very annoying and hard to deal with, and that's just going to be increased because getting the courier out to you pre-3 minutes is hard because of the threat of the bounty hunter courier snipe.
Despite the Drow Ranger, PA off to a great start here, even against a ranged hero. So they are going to bring in some reinforcements in the form of Kaka. He mans up on the two little melee heroes. Tries to dish out some damage on Puppey, but Puppey happy to trade blows with the Orb of Venom. Does leave U9 on an island here top. This, of course, explains the Iron Talent pickup, as doesn't really want to be laning against the Drow Ranger as a melee hero and constantly getting right-click harass from distance. But it does mean the Drow has complete free farm in the early stages.
It frees up Faith on the support as well. I mean, Ogre, Kaka, and Faith both to just pull, stack, and play super greedy on their supports, though, so they can help out the mid lane, they can stack the jungle. We already see Faith hitting level 2 and stacking up the big camp now, so Secret's response to this is to send Puppey up there to make sure they're at least getting some XP out of this lane.
Looks like it is going to be a bold dive here by Mr. Kaka. He's going deep for this courier. It cannot be upgraded for another 45 seconds. Diving the tower, circling around. He may pay for this with his life, but well worth it. Spends his gold, buys the boots. He runs right into 4 He says, thanks for the gold, buddy, but it's actually Pylai Dai who will secure it in the end. So a courier kill for a support Ogre's life. Man, that was a deep dive.
Yeah, I saw the courier run past, and I'm thinking in my head, like, oh, he's just a bit unlucky. He's a bit late as the courier went past. And then I'm like, wait, he's actually just going to charge it down to the tier 3 tower? That's really
a 9k MMR tower dive right there.
Yeah. Like, even if I'm playing support, then I know I can get that courier. I'm probably thinking, like, nah, I don't want to die for this courier. Like, it's not really worth it. Like, giving, like, a kill to, like, an IO or something. But, I mean, math-wise, the numbers, it does kind of pan out in his favor.
Well, it's going to be a move on the mid lane attempted by Puppey here, but Kaka and Triple C do stuff together. They are going to start to lay into MP a bit with the Ignite. No follow-up yet from the Mirana, but simple harassment for now. Still, PA City at 16 CS, keeping pretty close with the Mirana overall. And the cores of Secret GoDz, they are farming quite well here. Mid 1 bottom, already at 16 CS. The Tidehunter, yeah, he's giving the Drow free farm, but he is doing well with the Iron Talent in the jungle. So with the 2 kills, even giving up a courier death, we do find Secret with a slight lead, and against the Drow Ranger, have to be pretty happy about that. Yeah,
it's just KP who's a little lower CS than the rest of the pack, and a lot of that does go back to that early death and losing his salve. Just means he has a bit of a tougher lane. You can see here he's got no HP regen left in his lane, so still getting XP and farm, so it's not by any means a disaster for him. He's still in a good position to have a solid mid game.
So now Puppey tentatively creeping up top, hiding deep in the tree line, just trying to soak up that experience. Does have a TP ready. And they've
got
Kaka.
The double wave up top. They want to push. Okay, they're going to try
this.
scan him with the scan, but they get the double wave with the siege creep. This is a common play you'll see teams do, where you see the siege creep coming, you do a single pull, you stack it up, and then you take your tier 1 tower. Ideally, they want to try find Puppey with the scan, but just getting a tower out of this is still good for Newbie.
And already you do see a point in Bloodlust to enable the push here for Ev. Just parked to the south of the tower, and Puppey to the north. Do we have any other TPs available on Secret? Does look like Pylai Dai could opt to join the fight. He's only level 4 though, so not quite able to relocate in. A little hiccup here from the server, but Newbie lane into the tower. Looks like it will be dropping. With Glyph already committed, the question is, will there be a deny attempt, or do they just give it up for free? The last hit will go in the end to the Drow Ranger, and SCCC grabbing to get Vizrune, creeping on MP, but doesn't have any sort of backup to make a play.
They even had Mirana ready to rotate top should Secret defend that one. So really good coordinated push. SCC was just sniping the big camp by the Secret shop and in position to help out if needed. And then as soon as he realizes they're not defending, goes back mid to continue farming. So this is like the first big push you make as a Drow team, and Newbie haven't really skipped a beat. They've had the good early game as far as the lanes not really collapsing, but it's kind of what you'd expect from a Drow strat. If you don't get that tower the first siege creep, you're playing behind.
Do you feel like Puppy's gotten enough done here, GoDz? He's level 3. We saw the early pressure bottom results in a kill. Does help out a bit in the mid lane to give MP an easier time of it, but hasn't found that courier snipe. We don't really see too many aggressive wards here. Yeah. Do you feel like the bounty hunter's been a liability, or is he getting the job done?
He went a bit all in trying to snipe the courier, but I think bounty hunter's gone to this place where teams are so used and good at dealing with the hero that you spend your the first 2 minutes of the game just running around hoping to find something.
Arrow there from S3C, but now decides to run away. The Moonlight Shadow committed. Kaka moving in a bit deeper into the river. Thinking about the engagement, as they did have the rotation from the Oracle coming too, but Drow Ranger not there, and perhaps most importantly, KP not in the fight. He is certainly their strongest teamfight presence at this stage.
But yeah, back on the bounty, it just feels like a hero that the first 10 minutes of the game isn't that strong anymore because teams are so good at dealing with him, and the nerfs to Shadow Walk, where it's 65 mana, really kind of hurts this hero. He's much more about when he hits level 6, that to me is Bounty Hunter's new peak. He no longer peaks in the first 5 minutes of the game because of the nerf. So, and Puppy's done enough. He's not really expected to do a whole lot apart from be a little bit annoying. Like, he prevented SCC from getting his items out that early because of the threat of the courier snipe.
You see him just farming out the mid lane for now. Has picked up the Blades of Attack, so Phase Boots likely en route. But giving Faith a little time here in the top lane. Wants to get us level 6. As Puppy moves in, also looking for experience. And 4Ev, having rotated top. Still not yet cracking the ultimate, but will now secure his 6. Skills up the Ravage immediately. No Arcane Boots just yet. No real mana regen to work with. And mid one just calmly farming the bottom lane. So a very passive end to the laning phase here. Who do you think moves first?
It's got to be Newbie with the Drow to start pushing some more towers. Drow's level 7, they've got max precision aura. They should be looking to take towers. I say that as Oracle gets dived up top. He was looking for his level 6, so Secret kind of pick off. But as far as moving first to take big objectives, Newbie are the ones much more in position to do so. They've got much more key levels with the Timber level 7 and having the Drow Ranger to push down towers as well.
Yeah, Secret definitely confident about their ability to push, though, with the Ravage ready. So they do stay parked in this top lane, but it is a relatively slow siege. Only really the Phase Boots on MP is an additional source of damage on towers here. KP gonna respond by cutting the wave bottom, and Newbie up to smoke. They do not have Moonlight Shadow for 20 seconds, so a good position here from Pylai Dai could break the smoke, get the team out safely. Newbie creeping in. It's Kaka out in front, lumbering up the river. Pylai Dai almost dead to the neutrals, and they start to converge here on 4Ev. He's out quite far. The long-range Ignite Lob comes in. Now the arrow to follow. A direct connection. A bit laggy here, but it looks like they found him. They've controlled him. He is not going to Ravage. He, too, will fall in an MP. Could well be next. Pops to the Oracle. A double grab, and all the while KP just farming in the bottom lane, clearing out the wave. It ends up being a triple kill as they go even deeper to finish off the IO in the trees. Newbie in firm control here. Still all the while KP farming, and to go with that, Kaka back to the mid lane for him.
It's one of those fights where if you're Secret and like if KP came to that fight and like it was like a 5-man rotation, you're like, okay, maybe that wasn't so bad. But when you see KP almost taking a T1 tower while free farming bottom, that's where you're like, oh crap, that was really bad for us. A huge swing going Newbie's way. Big team fight. When they lose the T1 top tower, which is like a fairly important early game objective as far as dire jungle control goes, but realistically, Newbie are going to be the ones keeping the lanes pushed out. They've got the Drow, Mirana, Timbersaw, two good wave clearing heroes, and the Drow with the aura to push with. So these lanes are going to be pushed regardless. So they're not too worried about losing a singular tower.
They still haven't seen mid one move around too much, but Puppy take this moment to D-ward, so he clears out that dire vision towards the bottom side of the map. And we see S3C moving onto 4Ev, gets off the double Starfall, the arrow, a complete whiff though. 4Ev just sidestepping that one, will make it out safely, but Phase Boots now complete, point booster up for S3C, and looks like he will be on a pretty fast clip here for the Aegis to go with that U9 working on the Dragon Lance, and it looks like we're gonna have a moment of pause here, so I will try to reconnect, guys. Not sure if that's actually gonna fix the lag, but we'll give it a whirl. How's it going, GoDz? Apparently not very well. GoDz, you with me?
Yeah, oh, sorry, I'm here. My mic just hiccup for a second. I'm good.
The mics. Are you lagging as well, or is that just on our end?
I think that's just on you've got the perfect world lag, I guess.
We've got the Calais.
Unfortunate. Normally, I haven't tried watching many Chinese server games from Australia, but it seems okay so far for this game at least.
You know, when Australia has better internet than America at anything, we're in a bad place. But now Kaka moving in. Looks like they want to go here. KP going to lead things up with the chakram. They drop down. Quick observer ward, popping the dust as well. Still the chase forward. They do manage to connect on Pylai Die here with the arrow, but the 3-hero Ravage comes in together with that mid one balling forward, but he's blown most of his mana. He's just going to continue to pump damage out, I should say, into the Ogre Magi. Moving forward again. The Ogre brought down, now turning on to U9. Can they finish him off? The Oracle's there to save the day, and now the chakram follow damage before him. Standing strong here in the paint, laying into them. Courtesy of that Aegis smash, bringing U9 low, but the Gust back. Can they finish the job for him? Low. They do end up getting the kill, and it's S3C trying to clean this one up. The Starfall, though, isn't going to hit Puppy. It will around the trees. Now brings him down. MP trying to do the trick here. Can he turn around with an arrow as well as a Starfall combo? He's not going to chance it. Goes for the TP out. MP. Could be a crit. Not going to happen. So when the dust settles, they commit the Ravage there, but I believe a 3-for-4 exchange overall. GoDz Secret very happy with the results of that.
Yeah, when you don't get that initial jump cleanly, like even if you're just using a chakram there and an arrow, it still makes a big difference as Tidehunter gets off a great Ravage and Secret turn it around. And important that they win that fight because that was the first fight where they bring the Storm in. They have the Bounty Hunter track now online. I don't know if I think they got at least one track kill out of that, but the big thing is like this is where Bounty Hunter gets strong, and you can fight your way back into this game whenever you've got Ravage because track money is going to start adding up as you take these fights, even if you're trading evenly. So for Secret, it's just making sure you secure these kills when Newbie comes to push.
And of course, if you're Newbie, you know Ravage is on cooldown. You want to pressure. So
yeah.
C3 in the mid lane, just a Drow Ranger confidently out in front, does up the Dragon Lance for a bit of sustain here, but this is allowing 4F to work on the Ancient stack, and now they will move forward. Storm Spirit jumping in, but it's right into an arrow from S3C. Can Pylai Die save him? No, he's been gusted. He can't get the relocate off, unfortunately. Controlled by the Drow, but the trade is there as they get the carry of Newbie, and now chase for a bit more. Kaka running in the Shuriken, not going to bounce too much. They do get the multicast, and Puppy goes down to the ding-ding. Now Newbie diving forward, another arrow, having a fish, not going to connect. A long-range ignite, and KP just going in deep for this one, but he may have gone in too far. The crits are there, the double crit from MP, and unless this Oracle can heal up, he may just drop another dagger from distance. It is enough. They pop him. They end up getting the kill. The neutral gets the last hit, though. Ay, ay, ay. Now an arrow to turn this. MP does get hit by it, the Starfall. The nukes. Faith from distance, bringing down the PA, a bloodbath in the mid lane, jiving onto Kaka, mid one with the pursuit, finds the kill, will get Sounds, but a split second too late. Now Faith trying to TP out, will he make it through the trees? The ball in, the grab, mid one, slams it home. Newbie currently 3 heroes dead, but mid one out of mana. They want to chase this, they can't quite do it. Oh boy, 4-3, and Secret with the goal deficit. We'll be happy with that fight. They also take that engagement while Ravage is on cooldown, GoDz, and barely even come out behind when it comes to raw kills.
Yeah, they're just really recognizing to take the Drow out first. A lot of the right-click damage is taken out. The Mirana, who's gone for this Phase Aquila build as well. And yeah, you're going to the Axe, but you still right-click decently hard with Drow alive. Not to mention even Oracle. Like, all this bonus damage is taken away when the Drow is dead. The Drow herself does a lot of damage, so they're able to get on top of the Drow. They picked 2 heroes, Storm and PA, who both directly counter the Drow. Even that amazing 2-hero Gust from U9, which killed off the Storm initially, wasn't enough for Newbie to win that fight. So, doing a great job of just recognizing the threat there and really taking the fight to Newbie. This really feels more like MVP style right now. They're just aggressively brawling and fighting, and doing it without a Ravage.
I would agree to some extent, but this is generally the phase of the game where QL would be diving you past your tier 3 tower.
Yeah.
Not full MVP. It's like MVP light, maybe, for now. But that could change quickly because S3C is closing in on the Aghanim Scepter. That's going to be the big power spike here for Newbie.
If Mirana hadn't agged in those fights, like SCC would have been getting massive amounts of kills.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that was ridiculous how much damage you could have dished out.
And on the side of Secret, 4F, looks like he wants to counter this. He's already grabbed the hood. We're not going to see a blink rush. Not going for the mechanism either, which is frequently the pickup for Tidehunters as they do relocate here on the bottom lane. Ball in onto KP, but it's a pretty long dive to go for. Can they get the quick kill on the Timber? So he's healed up by Faith, kept alive. Kaka looking to turn it. The silence on the mid one. Will there be a save? The Ravage too late. Down goes the Storm Spirit in the end, and now the turn following up that pure damage, just completely chewing through the Tidehunter as he looks to retreat. The arrow cuts off the path, then the chain through, and from distance, Kaka nuking him down. They now pursue out MP. A leap not available for some time. He might just be able to phase his way out of here. The PA linking back to the IO, still SCCC in pursuit. They want to go further for this one. In the end, he will give up the chase. In fact, MP threatening to go back in, though I don't think he really wants to do that.
We're already in the Roche pit, and with no Ravage, Tide and Storm both down for a little bit longer, this could just be a straightforward Roche claim for Newbie.
You know, when they relocate to initiate the fight, Storm really, it doesn't feel like he can play that aggressively, GoDz.
Yeah, he dove too deep. They tried to predict the Timber Chain and relocate where he's going to Timber Chain, but went a different direction, and they just couldn't quite get the initial kill on Timbersaw cleanly. Great reaction. Oracle was the player of that fight, though. He reacted so fast.
Puppey in a lot of trouble. Way too much nuke damage. Can't stand against it. Will be burst down. Mirana now has complete the Aghanim Scepter. This is that devastating timing we saw so often at the last international. Io just explodes. The server can't even handle the amount of damage being pumped out now by Newbie. So much magic burst. And on that note, into the Roche pit they go. They've brought the big boy down to about a third of his HP. 4Ev. No Ravage to contest. They're just chipping slowly on KP, but it's so difficult to go in here. They don't even have tracks of mid one. Just says, screw it, man. I'm going in. And Secret says, we can't help you there, buddy. And now 4F2 might fall for this one. Secret not on the same page. Not showing the level of teamwork you need to try and take the fight around the Roche pit. Mid one now twice he's dove in on his own without support, without any real escape plan. And you just got to take your hat off to Unai. These gusts have been immaculate.
Yeah. That's where Storm Drow, it's like as much as the Storm is picked as a Drow counter pick, if you predict the Storm roll in and time the gusts on his land, it can completely ruin the Storm's life. And we've seen a couple good ones in a row from Unai, and Newbie possibly in a position to just take every outer tower on the map right now. They're really strong with this Aegis, and Mirana is about, like, could have a blink dagger right now if she wants to. So this gets very difficult. If you're someone like a PA, you've only got 1k HP, you just melt to that double Starstorm. You can't fight all that easily, not to mention the Eye behind you can get blinked upon and taken out before the fight even begins.
Puppey, nice job there to give a small sign of life to the team as he does manage to snipe the Dire Courier. Wasn't packing any heat though, no items on it. And Newbie's still able to spend all their gold here. And you talked about the PA gods and how she can't really stand against this magic damage. We often will see that BKB build, though it obviously has downsides this game. You can't be tethered to if you pop it prematurely. And, of course, not the best scaling pickup, but MP skipping it. He's really relying on the team to keep him alive in these fights.
I think it's like it's one of those things where if you go BKB first, it's like a game-losing BKB type pickup where you're gonna stay alive, but you're not gonna kill anything.
Oh, these gusts though from U9, the 3-hero relocate, but he slows it down. The Oracle's there to save him. Now they turn on to Pi, they nuke him down. Faith there to secure the kill, and Pylai now the chase is on. Can they even get the U9 kill? They do. But at what cost, GoDz? MP might be in trouble here. Is he going to have an escape route? KP can hunt him. There's the Timber Chain forward, and now going to work with the Whirling Death. Another Chakram follow-up. MP oh so low, and oh so dead. Another great gust under pressure by U9.
I mean, for MP himself, he's like, well, I killed the Drow for my own life. It's kind of worth it for him because they're playing from behind at this stage, and you slow down the push and the Aegis duration by just taking that fight. So it's on a... That fight in itself wasn't too bad for Secret. It doesn't advance him, but it definitely wastes Newbie's time having to kill him, and then they lose the Drow. They're not really getting value out of their Aegis, but the state of this game is still very much one where Secret are under a huge amount of pressure to win a big fight, using Ravage, getting some track gold. They will have Pipe for the next fight, so that is going to help quite a bit against that Mirana AoE damage.
Is it time for Secret 6.0?
It could be. Yep.
Let's
open qualifiers to get LD. Let's do it.
I die now. Trapped out in the river. And if you are an IO who's behind against a Mirana with a Blink Eggs, you will be dying a lot as the game progresses. Pretty much at this point, he is the sacrificial lamb. Hopefully can create a bit of space elsewhere. They will push in on the mid lane here. It looks like Secret are going to resort to just spreading the map and avoiding that head-on engagement. Do you think they're going to have time to pull this off? Because it kind of feels like Newbie is just going to keep on pushing straight for the high ground.
They'll have to defend their high ground. And the thing is that Secret heroes don't really split push outside of the Storm. And they've itemized for teamfight. They have mech and pipe. If you can't teamfight now when you just got mech and pipe, then what's your draft meant to do? So they have the team fight. That's what their draft is built for right now. But the problem is this Aegis, which they really like to wait out.
Newbie, confident siege here. They leave S3C out in front. Already has grabbed the Ghost Scepter. He is the Aegis bearer, so drop. Newbie can converge around him, even blocks in for that Starfall. A bold maneuver trying to bait out some big spells here. Also notice 4F has completed the pipe. He will activate it. Not really getting the visual on my screen. There you go. But seeing the pipe being used, Newbie gonna stagger a retreat here. Arrow passing right through 4F, but did actually connect. And still S3C confidently out front. Deso complete.
Mana right now, so he can't really do much damage without mana. So yeah, you've got Aegis, but your first life isn't that valuable. Okay, 1 Starstorm, that's not bad. Being mana depleted is costing him some.
Puppy is not having fun here. I just want to throw the track out, man. Leave me alone. That's 3C. Not going to let those tracks come for free as he continues to push forward. Newbie confident in their siege potential here, but Secret do have the Ravage. They do have the Desolator picked up now on the PA. The Ravage goes. It connects on the entire team. Thorev going in fast, and KP just wants to retrieve the Oracle, looking to keep him alive. A complete lag fest emerges, but there the Aegis is popped. KP still surviving through this. They've lost the Oracle. That's the first real death of the fight, but KP survives the noble sacrifice. The Ravage committed now, an Oracle for a Ravage. Newbie can just wait for this Oracle respawn. With the Aegis down, maybe they'll be hesitant, but it kind of feels like they can go in now. Arrow crashing in. Almost connecting on Puppy there.
Yeah, I think Newbie without the Oracle, that's their sustain and heal. I mean, it's their save as well, so getting too aggressive without Oracle alive is a bit tricky for them, so I think backing off, regrouping, maintaining map control at this stage is fine for them. They've got a couple new items coming out soon with the Drow Ranger, having a Shadow Blade, the Mirana can be looking at picking up an E-Blade sometime in the next 3 to 4 minutes, so Newbie are in no rush. Their lineup does scale very well. It's not like you're going to straight up lose the late game. Considering the PA's slight lack of farm, you're in a pretty strong position until MP has a BKB.
Oh, moving in the mid lane, mid one. And does have the Bloodstone picked up to 14 charges now. Decently well thus far, but now the Moonlight Shadow. Newbie pressing in, looking for that quick pick to start the fight. Highlight die. He knows he's the target. He tethers his way out of there. S3C has eyes only for Pi. Now KP looks for more. They find mid one again. The Gust's picking him off, GoDz.
It's a short respawn though, so that's. I mean, it hurts because it's Bloodstone, but the good news is you're not going to get res.
Does buy some infused raindrops now, but the damage is done as U9 brings down the tower. Ravage still not up for 50 seconds. Newbie can press this advantage, looking for the pickoffs. The arrow comes through again. Secret will sidestep that, but the endless assault continues. A blink in, a starfall, and a leap out, and Secret, 3 of their heroes down to about half HP on the back of that. Very little commitment by Newbie. Trying to drive Secret back so he can focus on objectives. The stun's there on mid one. The chain forward. Chakra again with the gusts, and again the storm drops. These silences are just so well coordinated. Newbie continuing to find pickoffs, forcing out the IO buyback. The storm still down for 10 seconds. S3C in again. He needs that Oracle save. Ghost Scepter's there together with Faith, and they're going to force out another. Oh, sorry, that was the save buyback. The IO buyback still not restarting the fight. KP on the run, trying to make his way out. S3C, and again, he just gets the Starfall, but MP survives through the damage. KP just lurches forward, brings down the Tidehunter. Mid one completely YOLOing in. No backup in sight. There is no relocate out from the looks of things. He goes for a very short range, underwhelming attempt to jump his way out of there, but S3C also low on mana. Will not continue pursuit. Kaka, GP out, and he's out of there. Dagger crossing over the Newbie heroes as they retreat back to their side of the map. They are trading some kills here, GoDz, but the Bounty Hunter's dying early. There are buybacks on the side of Secret, and they are not winning these fights.
Yeah, they held. They didn't get too many track kills. They get another Drow kill. 4 deaths on Drow. It's not bad. They're doing it. They're really just committing a lot to kill the Drow, and more recently the Oracle. Every time they're engaging, they're like ignoring all the heroes except Oracle, and then after Oracle's dead, they'll focus other targets, which you kind of have to do. Problem is, Faith, just with all the tower gold, has a Ghost Scepter, so when IOPA relocate on top of Faith's face, he's just like, sweet, I'll pop my Ghost Scepter, good luck killing me anytime fast. And he can even Fate's Edict the PA, and then there's no right clicks coming out, so it's very difficult for them to burst.
They're committing here. They really want the free track kills. They will make the committed leap, bringing down Kaka, the Ogre Magi, but S3C, he's tried to go in for the counterplay, and KP arrives, looking to make something more out of it. The Oracle save again on point, keeping S3C alive. He will blink out, but in the end will end up falling. Secret had the critical damage. They brought down 3. They're looking for a 4th. The dagger's there, chasing forward. Can U9 save the day? The Gust only getting 2, and they surround KP. I believe has the Bloodstone tonight, even pushed back a bit further by the Hurricane Pike, but not up the cliff, and Secret able to gun him down. They've gotten 4 gods, and just like that, the power of the Bounty Hunter. Puppey scouting out that initial gank, and Newbie committing way too much to try and turn it.
That's the fight. That's one of those fights where your Newbie you look back on and you're like, there was a very simple play we could have made, and that was just letting our Ogre die to a 4-man gank with relocate, and then you lose just an Ogre Magi. Sure, it's a track kill, who cares? But instead, Mirana goes in. Then it turns into this snowball domino effect where one person tries to save one, and then he gets himself in trouble. Then another person tries to come in to save the Mirana, and then in the end, you've lost your entire team almost, and Secret have a 6,000 gold swing going in their favor because it's track money. So it's a complete disaster of a fight for Newbie. They can settle down, take Roshan, and still close out this game, but that really gave Secret a huge boost of gold. Suddenly, mid one's almost completing an Orchid, and things aren't looking so bad.
That was like half their lead in one fight now.
Yeah.
And even a bit more. They are going to be chasing out an illusion here. Newbie going back to the pit. Now remember, last time they pushed mid, they did bring down the tier 3 tower. The next time they try to go high ground, they fight in now to a Puppey mech, a level 2 track. Even a plate mail picked up on 4 and perhaps most importantly, MP is dangerously close to a BKB. No real solutions for a BKB PA this game, guys. They don't have an MKB on the right-click heroes. It's the closest thing, I guess, is the Hurricane Pike and the Leap Ghost Scepter combination for Newbie to try and kite this thing out, but they can't really kill a PA during BKB.
Yeah. They have no 4-stars as well to help push people back to safety. If they're fast, it looks like they might try and beat the Ravage cooldown, but 25 seconds, looks like Ravage will be back up for 4 before this fight breaks out, so this is going to be a really strong hold from Secret. The biggest thing probably is that BKB you mentioned. It looks like MP, if he stays top, could try to get the T2 tower, but Newbie, perhaps recognizing that they're not going to beat the Ravage cooldown, they're just going to push out the lanes, farm another item or 2, get the Ethereal Blade on Mirana. That's an item which will help against the PA, using it to save a teammate more so than actually actively on the PA herself, since she can BKB it off, but it is a handy item for SCC.
Of course, if the game goes late enough, then this BKB will be a relatively short duration, and that's where Newbie could hit a new power curve of their own, but this is definitely the stage where Secret are very strong. The Orchid, as you mentioned, nearly complete, and a moment of pause, appropriately, by Puppey.
Oh,
it's been a while since we've had a good old Puppey pause.
Oh yeah. No, that's, you know, it's new Dota season, but it's still the same old Puppey.
Yeah, but not the same old Merlini gods here to call him out on it.
Yeah, he's casting the wrong games today.
Ben has been playing a lot of World of Warcraft. He has been raiding up a storm. I haven't seen him in like the better part of 2 weeks.
The only thing I'm happy about with their World of Warcraft stuff is that they named their guild Iron Talon. I thought that was the one redeemable factor about them playing World of Warcraft.
You know why they only did that so they could like pretend they're playing Dota. They're actually playing.
I mean, it's quite fitting. Like
we haven't changed, guys. I swear. I just need to spend a little more time with Iron Talon today.
Yeah, you're PvEing. You know, it's like so different to going in a Dota game and just taking it to the next level, I guess, playing World of Warcraft.
But on a serious note, of course, guys, Merlini will be back. He'll be doing some casting for this event. We also have Odie Pixel, Draskell, and even the legendary Wakey Pixel gods. We're doing a spot of commentary here for MDL over the next couple days. Right now, of course, guys, there is another game going on. Group A is a GSL group. There are 4 teams, and we do have MVP Phoenix taking on LGD FY, and that is, of course, Forever Young, not FY God in the name. They're anything but young, though, I have to say, as we will see Puppey get obliterated by that freshly picked up E-Blade.
That's possibly going to force a buyback here if they push immediately, which not the biggest buyback, but does prevent him getting a 4-staff. And if you're Newbie, you're thinking, well, pushing without track is actually pretty handy for us.
There's the BKB, and the buyback instantly there from Puppey. He knows a good fight with this BKB could be absolutely devastating. Rack of 4 or 5 track kills, and it is not easy to run from the Secret lineup. They just have so much mobility, courtesy of the Bounty Hunter, with the speed boost, the boost as well as the chasing potential of the Storm, the IO move speed, and the dagger. So Newbie, having seen this, they get cold feet. They are going to slow things down, look for a better opportunity to move in.
It is kind of Newbie's time to start planning a bit more for the late game. Pushing high ground, even with an Aegis, is very difficult. They'll see some of these, they'll see the BKB now, they see the Orchid, and they're probably thinking like, oh, we can't actually fight into these items. If we get Blink, well, I guess there's no Blink on Tide. I want to say he might go for the Blink. He's picked up a Plate Mail, but having a Blink Insta-Ravage that you can follow up with the Storm PA is very strong right now. So Newbie have to be just, considering late game, getting a BKB on the Drow Ranger, building into that Aghanim Scepter. They can't just... They can't probably see themselves going high ground even with an Aegis now.
It doesn't feel like a win the game right now type of lineup, given the hero mechanics and matchup. Do you feel either team has the better, like, late game gods, talking like 50, 60 minutes plus? Should it go that long, or is it still pretty even at that point for you?
I give Secret the edge, just the mobility of heroes like Storm Spirit and Io. And then Tidehunter having Ravage in the late game is just always
Puppy. Well. Normally you wouldn't care too much about losing a Bounty Hunter, but he bought back. If they can bring him down, he's dead for a minute. It could be enough time to go down mid. Even if Secret take the fight, they won't benefit from the track gold. It's not the death that matters. It's more the absence of the Bounty Hunter at this next fight.
And Mid One tried to snipe the creep wave that was coming, but he missed it with the ball TP, so he hit that creep wave. Could have stalled this.
The Mid One has TP'd back home, and Newbie pushing forward now, confident that there is a large margin for error. 30 seconds and counting. There is still a glyph available, so they've got to start to work on this Rax rather quickly. The Drow Ranger sitting very far back. It's a slow going here, relatively speaking, from S3C. Glyph available. They're biding their time. Secret very patient here. Up against the siege as S3C just blinks a little bit over to the side and continues to work on the buildings. They will bring down the melee now, thinking about sticking around for the range, but this is time to strike this Mid One straight on in, popping that Aegis quickly. 4F hanging onto the Ravage for now, just trying to zone them back and go for round number 2. He hasn't committed it yet, and they go with the pipe. A quick crit there on KP to bring him down low. They might just sacrifice, let the rest of the team get out. The Oracle is there, can save the day. He will pop the ultimate to keep KP alive. And now KP backing off again, but the track forward, he chains up the cliff. They might just have to let him go. The Timbersaw committing the Shiva's Guard, gets healed up a bit further as the Oracle ult wears off, attempts to chain away, but it's a short, underwhelming hop for him. Meanwhile, Ogre getting cleaned up. The BKB committed by MP, and S3C off the other direction, leaping up to the left, looking for the retreat. So when the dust settles, it is a total of 3 heroes going down for Team Newbie, but they got a lane of Rax Gods, and I think only one of those was the track kill, maybe 2.
Yeah, I believe just one. That was, I think overall Newbie are fine with that. They didn't lose any of their really key heroes. The Timbersaw just lost some Bloodstone charges, but taking a Rax with the 8, they weren't expecting to get that Rax, so the CCC.
Oh my god, the chasing, the closing potential of this secret lineup is enormous. All of that set up by a nice observer ward here towards the top side of the map. So Mirana down, make it 4 heroes, and that one was a track kill. Suddenly a relatively even trade mid, maybe even a Newbie victory, equalized a bit by that particular kill.
KP really needs a Lotus Orb at this stage. Get rid of the track, get rid of the Orchid. The Shivers is nice, and I don't think there's anything wrong with getting it, but it's just more like how much farm are you getting in that off lane? And right now it's just not quite enough to hit all the key items that his team need.
We see the Phantom Assassin sitting a bit behind here on farm, but all things considered, to be up against the Mirana with Ags and Drow Ranger and only down like 2,000 gold, Storm in closing distance. Secret in relatively good shape here when it comes to net worth and access to late game.
They're not worried about losing one melee Rax. You're kind of at that stage where one lane of Rax is not at all game changing.
And there's the ball in onto KP again. It's Space trying to save the day, but the Ravage comes through, connects on 3. Nine getting caught. He tries to Hurricane Pike out, but just gets obliterated as the BKB crit combo cleans up Kaka, and Mid One dives deeper, looking for Faith, going for the TP out. There is a pull. 1 second. Can he get it? No, but he gets KP instead. A sweeter treat, perhaps, as he drops as well. 3 have fallen. S3C just backing away. And what was once a 12,000 gold lead at 25 minutes is about to be a secret game if this keeps up, GoDz, at 33.
It's definitely going to be a secret lead after those track kills in these towers, so Newbie likely to either force buybacks out or lose a Rax here. If Secret really want to push for this, they need to be a little bit careful with our Ravage, but Newbie just don't have much firepower right now, at least not until Timber and Drow respawn.
Only the Drow buyback available. Meanwhile, Secret have 4 to work with, plus Mid One balling with 18 Bloodstone charges. We'll see a quick jump in and an even faster leap out by S3C as the Melee Rack's advantage is immediately equalized now. The pursuit from KP, pretty hungry for these kills, but can he find anyone to close the gap on? Marana heading to the south side. Secret can converge on this, still no Ravage for 75 though, so they want to be careful about how they engage, but MP has a BKB and he isolates KP. He starts to work on the Oracle there. Instead, it's S3C, they turn back for it. Now that the Oracle has committed his ultimate, S3C has to get the hell out, but he won't. Explodes in a cloud of blood and PA crit. The chase forward, another takedown. MP out of control. 3, could be 4 with the ball in. Another set of Bloodstone charges. Put mid 1 at 22 and put Secret in firm and decisive control of this game. Now, the 10,000 gold advantage is there.
It's guaranteed 2 lanes of racks. They can't get the third because of the tier 2 tower, but that is just a huge swing going their way. Just great aggressive play coming out from mid 1, as well as MP on this Storm PA, being able to just dive the kills, chase after. There's such great synergy between these two heroes with the track of Puppey, and Newbie are just getting run over. This is suddenly looking like almost like a guaranteed win for Team Secret after a very... it's meant to be a bad early game. You're up against a Drow strat. That lineup is meant to start pushing, taking objectives. It's a dire side Drow with Aegis, but Secret, they've held on so incredibly well this game.
They'll back off for that easy range tracks in the mid lane. 2 full lanes now caved in. Just a measly melee was brought down for Newbie. Only 1 lane of racks remaining. Newbie not ready to throw in the towel just yet. Good to see Secret slow things down a bit. They have completed another BKB, this one on the Storm, so that long window has finally been slammed shut. No more can you just reliably lock down the Storm with a well-placed gust. For Newbie, they really have no control for this, GoDz, barring some sort of immaculate multicast stun into an arrow. You are just not keeping Storm under control.
Newbie's ability to push out lanes is so limited now because you're playing against a team with so much catch with the Storm and the IO relocate. You can't even, like, as a Timbersaw or Marana, go to a lane, push it out because you just get picked off. We've seen it. That's what happened at top and started pretty much the fall of Newbie was SCCC pushing out that top lane, gets relocated on, brought down, and then it just snowballs out of control from there. So the fact they have this much catch is what's getting Secret back in the game, and Newbie haven't played around the fact that any hero pushing out a lane by himself can get picked off.
Kind of looks like mid 1's on a hoverboard here with the perfect world servers in effect. See zippity doodahs down the mid lane. Now a completed Bloodthorn for him. Just further amping up the damage that MP can reliably dish out in these fights. No real evasion to worry about here, but doesn't care too much as an Abyssal Blade has now been completed, and this feels like go time, GoDz. Yep. This certainly feels like a good time to calmly walk down mid and slaughter the enemy where they stand for Team Secret.
This is looking like a near impossible fight to win for Newbie.
0
They've
buybacks.
got to somehow, they want to take out the IO very early on in the fight, but look how tanky Pi is now. He's got a Soul Booster with the hood. Last fight he got E-Bladed, he hardly took any damage because of the hood, but now with this Soul Booster, he's incredibly tanky and hard to kill.
And there's a cheese, so you can't really count on killing him. And he's almost guaranteed to get that cheese off to save a buddy.
So IO is guaranteed to be able to heal up and boost someone like the PA's damage in the front line, or the Storm, whoever it may be. And who are you actually killing if you're Newbie when you're defending your high ground? Maybe a bounty hunter at best, but Puppey doesn't even care if he goes down at the start of a fight.
Newbie hanging back on their high ground, hoping for a miracle, but it feels like they need 4 or 5 fights at least to bring this gold deficit back. Especially when you consider they're the team that's getting less gold from the lanes here, and they're up against track gold, so they not only have to win those fights, but they have to win them very cleanly to even come close to putting a dent in this massive Secret advantage. And Secret not taking too many risks, GoDz. 4 heroes sitting top, the lone hero off on his own is Puppey and the Bounty Hunter, the least important hero at this stage when you have this kind of lead.
And get some info, but it looks like they are ready to push top. They're not rushing it, they know that Aegis will last 5 minutes.
Quick jump in and on to Kaka, they will go. They force out the Oracle just to save an Ogre Magi. That leaves KP virtually defenseless if they can focus him down. He frantically scrambles back, so MP diving in with the BKB, and it's just a quick crit with the Bloodthorn combo. Newbie lose 1. They almost lost a second there. Now with the Oracle unfold up, anyone who overextends will be jumped with impunity. Secret raining down the tower, another leap forward, and a quick and decisive takedown on U9, forcing the Marana back. The server can't even keep up. with the raw damage being pumped out by Secret as Newbie throw in the towel. What was a very impressive beginning has become a rather depressing end. They end up dropping this game 31-27, but more importantly, it's down 30,000 gold, down Mega Creeps in a matter of seconds, and with no chance of comeback.
That's like a great game of Dota where you have this team who's got this Drow strat, they take a lane of racks, they're kind of just looking like everything's going according to plan, but then suddenly Bounty Hunter kicks in, they win that. All it took was that one Ogre pickoff that turned into 4 kills. If that doesn't happen there, it's still a slightly Newbie favored game. Not to say it's by any means like a one game for Newbie, but that was the huge turning point, which suddenly gave Secret a huge advantage. They got big key items off of it. They got a lot of momentum, and they just started playing with this huge amount of confidence as a result.
Heading into game 2, if you're Newbie, and you could, like, let's say make like 2 or 3 adjustments, or even if you just had to pick one, GoDz, like what is the biggest adjustment or set of adjustments this team has to make?
I think looking more at recognizing your timings, they really needed to try and get more done before the PA had BKB, because once PA has BKB, the fights get very difficult to take. MP can play as aggressive as he wants, blinking in because of that. Since the majority of the damage output is coming from Mirana's Aghanim's and KP on the Timbersaw, the Drow, if you get in Drow's face, the damage from Drow is not very impressive. It's this Hurricane Pike build with a Shadow Blade. It's not really all that much right-click damage. So MP, his BKB timing was the one thing Newbie had to be most scared of, and they didn't get enough done before that. And I think the other big thing is just the takeaway is recognize bad situations. Like when someone gets picked off, let them be picked off. You're versing a team with Io Relocate and Stormball Lightning. You have to respect the catch and not try and die saving someone who's caught out.
All right, guys. Well, with that, this is a best of 3. It is a GSL-style group, and even if you finish in the bottom 2, you are not eliminated, but you will start in the lower bracket come the playoffs later this week, and you will have the tougher opponent. So, still important games here to be played. Secret now with the 1-0 advantage in the best of 3. We'll be back in just a few moments for game number 2. Stick around.